Hello to my Capricorns. All right, Capricorns, let's get right into it. Let's just dive right in. I want y'all to slow down and pay attention to this reading. Pay attention to this reading. Pay attention to this reading. Grab your notepads as usual. We're going to scale back on the readings on this channel. I have some wonderful news that's coming out very, very soon. But like I said, so I want you all to start taking notes. I really want you all to start taking notes. I know people just want to jump on, dive on, and just get if the X is coming back, if this is happening real quick and that's happening real quick. But the way I try to structure my readings is to try to teach, because you all, my collective community, has asked, So a lot of you all have asked about moon phases. A lot of you all have asked about teaching classes, right? So I'm actually offering this to you all for free on my channel, have been since almost the very beginning. And so I'm moving on to something else. So I'm scaling back and I'm trying to help you all. So please take notes. Please take notes. Please take notes. Please take notes. A lot of things are happening, out here, and I want you all to be safe. I really want you all to be safe, but more important, I want you to be informed. I want you to be informed, okay? Let's get into it. Let's get right into it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So we had a full pink moon in Libra. Libra rules 7th house. 7th house is about marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and enemies, right? Libra is an air sign. Air sign connects us with the heart chakra, which is feminine energy. It doesn't have to do with man, woman. We all embody divine feminine energy. But it's the gateway between us, where your head and heart could be at war with each other. So it's where you're going to be making connections. It's the justice card, right? So that's where, when you're thinking like in legal terms, you may have gone to court, or you may know somebody who has gone to court, maybe your parents, not necessarily like they've gone to court for like maybe divorce, or they could have gone to court on like a traffic stop. They could have gone to court for maybe, somebody in their neighborhood kind of complained about, like making petty complaints about noise complaints, or, just they were being harassed by the neighbors and they had to be in and out of court being harassed. Source is trying to help you all take the rose-colored glasses off and seeing how that can affect you when people could be enemies of your own family. And start making some connections there. Because everybody's not going to tell you everything. They're not going to know to tell you everything. That can be brain overload. So I'm going to try to help you all in this reading. Let's get into it. 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 All right, I already cleared the space. Every decision I make, I consider my inner child. Every decision I make, I consider my inner child. I want you to think of it this way. If you would not send your child off with someone, why would you allow your big adult self to go off with someone? I don't care how big you are. I shared a story of something that happened with me Easter weekend on another reading. And what's happening a lot of times, with people, just in general, that people just are so oblivious to, and it's happening in broad daylight. And this is why I teach the way I teach on my channel. And some people think, I see some of the comments under the videos, or, people making negative comments, but until it hits your front door, of how every decision you make, you consider your inner child, of just like, would you leave your own child, even if you don't have kids, even as an adult, with certain people, around certain people. Source is saying you'll start making some connections. You start making some connections. Starting to making some connections. All right, let's get into your reading. 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 Let me see what's in your cards. Let me see if I can make some connections for you all in the reading. Capricorns, I need you all to spend more time around water. I need you all to spend more time around water, because water has, your moon sign has an affinity with water, and it uncovers a lot of secrets. The moon is currently a waxing crescent moon in Pisces. Write down some of these questions if you want to. If you want to write down some questions. A lot of people like to learn. And by the way, for those of you all who are on my community page, I did have a free giveaway because it's Taurus season. I had a free 1 hour giveaway. So for those of you also, some people may have missed it, but I had a free 1 hour giveaway, free reading today. So some of you all may have missed it. So check out the make sure you don't miss it next time. Make sure you don't miss it next time. So, what am I being called to release and surrender now? That's a question. What truth is trying to surface from my subconscious? What truth is trying to surface from my subconscious? Remember, the moon uncovers secrets. Remember, the sun sits behind the moon. It illuminates the moon and is trying to uncover some secrets for you. Right? Third is, where do I need forgiveness or closure in my life? The fourth is, how can I best nurture my intuition, spiritual gifts at this time? And then the fifth one is, what dreams or messages are coming through that need my attention, right? Sometimes, so the moon card is, when you see the moon card, that's Pisces card. So Pisces rules 12th house, and that's about spirituality, addictions, psychic abilities, healing, solitude, endings, world peace, secrets, emotions. So Pisces is ruled by Neptune and also Jupiter, right? So Jupiter is the planet of good luck, good fortune, what's on the horizon, those kind of things. But Neptune is the planet of illusions and delusions. You could literally think that you're going crazy when the moon is in Pisces. It's currently in Pisces. You can be so overwhelmed with emotions of just coming to some realization, like you can be so overwhelmed with emotions because the rose-colored glasses have been, you realize that, oh my God, you didn't realize that some people were enemies of your loved ones. And you've been sitting right under people who have been enemies of your loved ones for so long. You almost in a spiritual vision see angels around you, like you have been covered by angels around you the entire time. These energies at any moment could have taken you out of here. So every decision that you make, you consider your inner child. Every decision you make, you consider your inner child. That's when you see those images that people draw and people walking down the street where they have angels covering them all around them. When you realize that you have been around people who absolutely hate your loved ones, and here you are, could possibly be hanging out with these energies. Could be hanging out with these energies and calling them your friend. It was two people. Yep, two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles. They were masking as somebody's friend. Somebody was spending time with two energies. They were two karmics. They were masking as friends, but they were paid to spend time with you, to get close to you. These two energies were spending time. They were paid to spend time with you. These are two karmics. Yep, 8 of Cups. But you'll be leaving them behind. They were two enemies. Very toxic. They keep you in a karmic cycle, keep you walking in delusion. These were two karmics. maybe like drinking buddies for somebody. But you'll be leaving them behind. These are two energies. Scales have been removed from your eyes. They have been removed from your eyes. These two energies, in hindsight, because 2 and 8 is 10. And now that the moon is in Pisces, you have a psychic in your life that in hindsight, they know exactly who these two energies are. These two karmics are, because you brought these two karmics to their house. You brought these two karmics to their house, and somebody told you who they were. Somebody told you who they were. Page of Swords. Whatever anxiety that you had, because somebody said to you, you seem like you're walking around on eggshells around them. Somebody told you out of their mouth. Somebody said you seem like you're walking on eggshells around them, Capricorn. See, when somebody from the outside looking in says to you, that's somebody seeing something that you don't want to see, like you too close to something, right? That's what we're seeing here. So yeah, two people that you spent a lot of time around. You paid a lot of you invested a lot of time. They invested a lot of time in you. These are people who like to keep you drinking with them. You know, like I don't know who drinks or whatever. Maybe your drink or whatever. They kept you in a state of delusionment, right? Nine of Cups. There are two karmics. Yeah, two karmics. Two karmics. Right? Keep you in a state of confusion, because people couldn't figure out, like, they like to create a bunch of confusion around you. Telling you they got your back for whatever you needed. They had your back. Something about that, they had your back. But something was always confusing with these two energies. They had your back as far as money was concerned. They had your back as far as water. Water is like in terms of sexuality, in terms of who you're dating, in terms of what gave you joy, whether it was creativity. But it was always something was tied. It was always a lie. It was always like it was a bait and switch with these two. Always something. It would be like energies who would tell you, oh, you got something going on, but it was always something. One of them in particular always gave off jealousy vibes. One of them in particular always gave off jealousy vibes. But one of them, you always seemed like you were walking on eggshells around them. And that was a big both of them were red flag. Both of them were a red flag. Both of them were a red flag that you were doing something for money. They had you doing something for money. I don't know who I'm talking to. They had somebody doing something for money. That you were working for somebody. You were part of something. That their wishes were being fulfilled. Two karmics. Two of Cups. Somebody has either you had or you have a romantic love partnership, unity or something. So you could have walked away from these two energies and entered into of romance. Somebody could have walked away, and again, take only what resonates with you. But somebody could have ended a relationship somehow. When you talk about ending, it could have mean you moved away, or you could have moved away geographical location, like you lived somewhere and moved away, or you could have moved a job and entered into a romantic relationship, right? But we're still talking about the rose-colored glasses coming off, and this moon being in Capricorn. The moon being in Libra. Libra is, again, Libra rules 7th house. The 7th house is about marriage, relationships, partnerships, business contracts, inner desires, and also enemies. So knowing who is an enemy of not only yours, but knowing who's an enemy of your family. Right? So they separate. You got to know that the justice card, those two scales, they're separate of each other. And the sword is people that you love. And Source is trying to say, when you're talking about heart chakra, that's where you're making the connection, where your head and heart would be at war with each other. Like somebody who can separate you from somebody and create some kind of toxicity between you and somebody that you really, really love. Somebody that you really, really love, right? Where money is involved. Money is involved. So again, every decision that you make, you consider your inner child, right? Every decision that you make. Because somebody now is like in hindsight. Somebody now in hindsight are like, here we have the Temperance card, seeing something from a higher frequency. You're seeing something from a higher frequency. So Capricorn, you physically brought two karmics like you. You introduced two karmics to somebody close to you. We're talking about water. Water is shaped and guided by the earth that holds and surrounds it. So meaning that earth would be your physical body. And our bodies are made up a large percentage of water. So you physically connected somebody close to you, somebody that you love, a physical body, to some karmics, right? Some people who are also connected to some people who have something unresolved within them around pentacles. Pentacles is not always money. It could be just physical existence of things, right? So when you see it from a higher frequency, like resolving something within yourself, to my Page of Swords here, Cups energy, water, where you're dealing with someone who has, this is why I talk about drinking your water, flushing out water, all of these things. When people pick up on an emotion, pick up on feelings, and picking up on things and saying, okay, drink your water. And this is for, again, parents. This is for you, your friend, just for you, period, for your friends, anybody when you're talking to people. You're the designated driver. You're noticing something about your friends, all of those things, Capricorn. Even the questions I just gave you for this particular reading, when you're introducing people to stuff, like try to see something from a higher frequency. Try to see something from a higher frequency. Here we kept King of Cups here. Yeah. Try to see something from a higher frequency. Try to see something from a higher frequency. That people are really trying to look out and watch out for you. Like if a person says, if somebody that you introduce to somebody say, I don't like them. And you say, well, you don't like anybody, like if you say to one of your friends, they may not be right out, they may not straight out say that. They may not come right out and say, I don't like, that person that you hanging out with. They may say it's something that's, you sure that's your friend, or you sure that's your, that colleague, somebody you work with or whatever. You may want to watch out for that one. You know how sometimes elders, may just come right out and just say stuff, whatever. Somebody may say, you're like, well, you don't like any of my friends or everybody that I work with. You're suspicious of everybody, such and such and such and such. They could be telling you something because you brought somebody close to them, and they picked up on that vibration. Their water picked up on the vibration, right? And so you pouring out, this is all this water, you pouring out to these karmics, they all about money. And you this open book. People getting all of these ideas, and creating more confusion for you. Sources saying you're learning how to see something from a higher frequency. Of not being tied to people who all they think about is money, 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 money. That's all they can think of. They can't see beyond anything else but money. Here we have the hangman here. The hangman here. Because they will sacrifice anybody. Literally, there's no honor amongst these. They'll sacrifice anybody. And that's what Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do. Here's the Page of Pentacles here. So I feel like somebody has this whole new lease on life. Somebody's going to feel like they have this whole new lease on life because you're just now waking up to... When you bring somebody in that close and they can read people like a book, like you're an open book, and people can read people like a book. You know how sometimes our elders would be like, they have no cut cards. They just come right out with it and they just say it. They can read people like a book. Like that one, they don't trust that one. They'll say that's a snake. We ain't talking about rebirth snake either. They basically saying, and people will look, oh, that's negative. No, something about that one is off. Like, you need to drink your water. You need to find out what your moon sign is. Start seeing something from a higher frequency. And they're telling you everything. They're literally telling you everything. It's like you need to pay attention. Don't drink around these energies. Don't be on no medication around these energies. These energies, somebody you can't trust these energies, whoever these energies are. So that's what Source is trying to tell somebody. Somebody is connected to two karmics, or was connected to two karmics. But I feel like you have this whole new lease on life. You're connected to two karmics that created a bunch of confusion for you, and they sacrificed you. You need to see something from a higher frequency, and a light is now shown on something. That does not mean that you all are slow. It doesn't mean that you learn slower than anybody. This could happen to anybody, just so you know. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. Here we have the Queen of Wands. Somebody met somebody who was very feisty and very confident. Somebody who was just very determined, but they were not determined to do their shadow work. They weren't determined to do their shadow work, and somebody read them like a book. But see, this is we have the Queen of Wands here. Another thing too, when you're dealing with people who are trying to get to know you too fast, trying to get you to process your emotions too fast, because it looks like somebody is very maybe physically attractive. You have a lot of sexual energy. Maybe people are very drawn to you. Doesn't matter what you look like on the outside, because beauty's in the eye of the beholder, whether you're a man or woman. But people are attracted to your energy. Maybe you make people laugh. Maybe you're highly creative. Maybe you play multiple instruments. Maybe you're a singer, artist, whatever you are. I don't know what people do. But something somebody knew that was a dark trait for you. That could have been a temptation for you. And somebody wanted to move fast in something. But an indicator for you is that they saw someone who had done their shadow work. Somebody read them like a book, had done their shadow work as their competition. That was your indicator right there. Somebody says, nope. They saw them as competition. So somebody really wants to, remember the devil card, and don't get offended by your card being the devil card. Devil card means just flesh. That's it. It's just carnal mind. It really just means people who feel like they can't move beyond something. That can be sugar, for real. Like if your doctor says, who was it, you're hearing people now talk more about health. Maybe starting to notice it more on social media. Like you're starting to see a lot of doctors give people a lot of tips on social media about, like, look out for this, here's a healthy alternative. Like they're giving so much good information, it's not even funny. I'm like, I don't even understand why people like not taking it. They so if a doctor says to you, hey, you know, you need to get your blood drawn, you need to stop eating this and stop eating that, and you're saying, you're still talking about this running your family, and your doctor is telling you, okay, I just drew your blood, you need to slow down on eating certain things, and you still talking about certain foods was calling you when you went to the aisle. What is it going to do? It's going to hurt. What's going to hurt for you to keep doing something? The devil made you do it. So that's what Source is trying to help somebody learn how to do. Is like, when you talk about the devil, that's how crafty the devil is. In this case, it could be like somebody could have creatively like boosted your ego around your creativity. It could be sex. It could be somebody could have made you laugh. You know, somebody could have promised you a good time in terms of, oh, you can make some money doing so and so. Somebody was able to bait you into something around your creativity. So Source needs you to see something from a higher frequency. Source needs you to see something from a higher frequency and start making some connections. I feel like somebody's going to go into hermit mode where a light can really, really turn on. Again, Capricorns, I would say this to any zodiac sign. Because a lot of people are being used to lure people into things. A lot of people are being used to lure people into some things. And people are taking a lot of pictures. People are taking a lot of pictures and using these pictures against people. People are taking pictures to use people against people to make money. So that they can have a whole new lease on life off of you, telling lies. So they can have a whole new lease on life off of you. So you better wake up. They putting stuff on dark web, all of this stuff. Wake up. Wake up. You're going into hermit mode. I shared on another video how, like, I went on Easter Sunday, I went to, just like I like to go, you know, sometimes to go to, you all know I'm in New York by now. I mean, y'all have received books and other giveaways that I do, so y'all already know the address. It's already listed. All of that. So anyway, so I went to the waterfront to just kind of like I went to the Hudson River, which y'all know is huge, right? So to like watch the birds, and you know, there's a lot of people, you know, kind of on the river. So this person comes up to me and just starts having this conversation. I really went just like for quiet time. I had eaten some lunch and I was just like relaxing, you know, in my car, and just, you know, walked out to, you know, just soak up some sun and just like the water. It was just so beautiful this weekend. I don't know where you all live, but this person walked up to me, you know, starts just talking, going off on this conversation, this tangent, telling me about this park and all of this other stuff, and you should follow me to this park. First they wanted me to ride with them, and I'm like, okay, who's this person, and what, you know, I'm kind of giving y'all the, you know, watered down version, but I think I'll post the pictures of some of the pictures that I took, you know. But anyway, people trying to get to know you too quickly. And this person was much older, you know, than me. But that is exactly how people, no matter how old you are or how big you are, how people can get attacked. That is how people, and this is broad daylight. Broad daylight. If I can draw y'all a picture of like the scenery around, it was people out there. There were police cars out there. I don't know if they were police and cars. There were people outside, broad daylight. But somebody asking me to follow them somewhere, probably in some kind of a location where there weren't people there. They could have been waiting to set me up, anything, right? So anybody could fall for anything. That's why I keep trying to tell people, like, you know, don't look at yourself as being this person as you supposed to know everything. And don't laugh at people who don't. Well, all of this water right here is reflective, meaning that people have cameras, they take you know, what's the card? This right here, light shining on things, meaning like make people aware, make your friends, family members, all of this stuff aware that everybody has an inner child. Consider that everybody has an inner child. So everybody, meaning everybody is naive about something. Everybody is naive about something. So when you're out here laughing at people and thinking people should know certain things and they don't, and something happens to you, you look at it from a higher frequency. Resolve that within yourself. They should know that by this age. I mean, I thought everybody knew that. Why? Why would everybody know something? Anybody can be sacrificed. Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. That's what I'm seeing here in your cards. You got some really, really abusive people out here who are cold as ice, for real, and will use anybody. This person that approached me was in their 70s. Late 70s, by the way. Wheel of Fortune. You're very, very fortunate. I'm telling y'all, I keep trying to teach y'all some stuff on my channel. People need to wake up. Stop holding everything close to the cuff. Being so secretive about everything. So this is what I'm seeing here. Being so secretive. But imagine if somebody was like, if somebody was following me and taking pictures and saying that I was into something that I'm not, and we're taking pictures of me standing there talking to somebody and wanted to put me on like dark web or whatever to make money for them to have a whole new lease on life, right? Taking pictures. People do this kind of stuff. They do this kind of stuff, right? All it takes is for you to have any kind of notoriety. Now, I've written 3 books, right? I think it's 2 of them out there, but I've written 3. And then done some other stuff too. Obviously, I have this YouTube channel. But Source is saying to you, if you've done anything where you're operating in your North Node, and people feel like they can attach themselves, especially karmics, if they can attach themselves to you in any way, shape, form, or fashion, and they can do it by any means necessary. Any means necessary. Any means necessary. By creating something where their wishes are being fulfilled, even if it has you walking on eggshells. And no matter how big you are. Source is saying if somebody else picks up on it, you better listen the first time. You better hear somebody the first time. Don't let pride get in your way. You got every kind of, I mean, like, if you're going to look at something on social media, look at what these people are trying to tell you on social media. Extraordinary. There's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. Many people are so fascinated. Oh my God, I thought they would have known that. I thought they grew up in so-and-so neighborhood. They should know this by now. How would everybody know everything? How would everybody know everything? A lot of people out here making money off of other people's. Some people use their creativity to create good by enlightening people. Some people use their creativity to create evil off of you. Seven of Wands. Something is closing out. Something is closing out. I see you defending your decision to move on from something without coming across as defensive. Without coming across as defensive. Seeing things from a higher frequency. This is emotional maturity. This is emotional maturity. So that you can get focused. You're not running away from anything. Source is saying, you know, somebody is finally giving something a rest. Somebody is finally giving something a rest. Somebody has been, somebody's finally giving something a rest. Somebody has been recording. Somebody's been recording everything. Watching and recording everything. Like I said, making money. Because people have been doing it to somebody else. I mean, like it keeps you in a karmic circle. This is how you can make quick money. It keeps people in the karmic circle. Keeps people in the karmic circle. And people don't think people understand or they know it. I don't think people know. But people have been like looking at your cards here. Somebody has been like looking at your internet and telling you to look at other people's internet. It's just like it's a cycle. It literally is a cycle. It's a cycle. So something is closing out. Something is closing out. Somebody got you caught up in some stuff that you weren't even aware of what you were caught up in. So again, consider your inner child. Somebody was in a very poisonous environment. The devil is in the details. Close it out. Apathy. You should be bored by now. 7 and 4 is 11. Tap in. Tap into source. That is what I have for you. Somebody is extraordinary in terms of your creativity, in terms of your spiritual gifts. You can pour into something else. That is what I have for you, talking to you, whatever Capricorn is in your birth chart. If there's anything else, like I said, this is what I have for you, the general reading. So make sure, like I said before, I did do a giveaway for today. If you're watching this on the, this reading is for the next 7 days. So this is for the 23rd through the 30th. And, get in touch with your emotions. Get more emotional intelligence. Don't assume that everybody who loves you dislikes everybody that you're attached to. Some people can literally read people like a book, emotionally. Read people like a book because they've done the shadow work. Even if they're just starting to do the shadow work. They're picking up on something. They like, no. Had I gotten into somebody's truck this weekend, or, followed somebody somewhere, some older person somewhere, they could have had somebody waiting for me somewhere. Y'all wouldn't even seen this video today. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows, right? So, Source really wants y'all to, with these karmics who are promising you all money, just paper and coins money, that this is a karmic relationship. When people are that hooked on money, they got you hooked. Like I said, the number 8 looks like an infinity symbol. Have you hooked in with them on something? Learn how to start seeing something from a higher frequency. That's what I have for you. This is what and I'll see you all in the next video. All right.